Guess what, Brian?
What?
It's a brand new year!
Simmer down. Welcome to Crocks in the Kitchen.
I'm Jessica!
Oh, God. And I am Brian. Yes, Jessica is super excited, mainly because she is peefed out today.
Woo!
Yes, if you were wondering, this was a lovely gift that Jessica got for Christmas
From Mandy, my sister-in-law, and my brother, but mainly Mandy did it.
And the hat was a gift from one of our lovely fans out there who made it. And it looks absolutely fantastic. And she says it's really comfortable too. But this is Peef right back here, this little guy. And if you're wondering who Peef is, we actually have a couple of videos, or 3 videos actually. One of them will be linked right up there. And you can find out all about Peef and how he fits into her life. And then by proxy, my life as well.
But that's not why we're here today.
No, we aren't here to talk about Peef again.
We're here to talk about resolutions.
Yes.
And weight loss.
Yes.
Gain.
Maybe.
And
how
we're
feeling.
doing.
Yeah. So this was completely 100% unrehearsed.
Although this is like the 5th time
we just keep starting and stopping this video, and it's just times. It's been a day. It's been a day of stuff. But the first thing that we're doing here is that we are talking about New Year's resolutions. Now, for the most part, New Year's resolutions are rather silly, and people just, they tend to get hung up on them, or they do the same thing over and over again every year. They're like, I'm gonna, lose weight, exercise, and all that, and then they do it for about a week or so, and then they give up, and then it's never thought of again until the next year happens. But I believe that if you're going to do a New Year's resolution, you should probably try and do something that's a little bit more attainable, or at the very least, understand that it is a marathon if you were trying to get through a year and not a sprint. Everybody starts out strong. I'm going to get all this stuff done, and they just peter out after a little while. But I think if you set a goal for the end of the year, and keep thinking about it. This is for the end of the year that you are currently in, not the start of the year that you were in. It makes those goals a lot more attainable, and not as like, oh my God, I have to get this done. I have to do this and all of that. So it's like, if you do actually set a goal of being healthy and all of that, you've got a year to get this done. You've got a year to figure this out. Now, obviously, if you start December 1st, you've got a problem. But if you start, get your stuff in order, get plans and whatnot going.
It's kind of like, okay, this just popped in my head.
Go for it.
It's kind of like if you get one of those credit cards. It's like you buy a TV or a new car, and they're like, it's 0% for 12 months. That's not going to happen with a car. But anyway, 0% for 12 months. And then if you wait till the end of the year to pay it off, you're probably not going to be able to pay it off. But if you pay off like a 12th of it each month and kind of contribute toward it as the year, then at the end of the year, all of a sudden you've paid off whatever this thing is.
Yep.
So it's kind of like that. I think you've got to put something into it at the beginning of the year, but it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Oh my gosh, it's January 1st and I didn't exercise or eat right today or the first week of the year or whatever. Now I'm going to give up and abandon hope on the whole year and wait till next year.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah. The other thing that I like to talk about as far as like a resolution goes is find something that you want to do or something that you really want to accomplish, and then really go out and do that. So last year, one of my primary things that I wanted to do was I wanted to get a bike, and I wanted to start riding my bike. Not necessarily as a form of exercise, although yes, it did accomplish that, but as just a way for me to sort of re-experience being physical again and going out there and riding my bike around the city that I grew up in.
He just wants to relive his childhood.
That's all I ever want to do. So last year, when I set out to do that, I didn't actually get a bike until May?
Yeah.
Yeah.
May 1st.
So there you go. I set out to do something, and I accomplished the first part of that goal on May 1st.
And you can watch a video of that, because we actually did a video of that.
Yep.
And you could see Brian and his little child, like his face
so
riding
happy.
around, and he was so excited.
You can find that linked up there. And so, yeah, we did that. I started riding my bike. But the day after we got those bikes, Jessica started feeling pain in her side. And then, as you guys know, that eventually led to the cancer diagnosis in June after surgery. And it just, it knocked me completely off the rails. And I never got back on the bike again. Now,
and I think what happened was our goals and anything that we had talked about of what we wanted to achieve in 2022, instead of all these lofty ambitions that we, maybe had or were thinking of, it became just me surviving.
Yeah.
That became the focus, and you taking care of me. And so there wasn't room for anything else in that.
Yeah. Totally agree that it's one of those things where our entire world just got completely flipped upside down, and things that I had prioritized no longer mattered to me. So I did kind of achieve my goal.
You got a bike.
I got a bike. I did ride it, but
I mean,
life got in the way, and it no longer mattered to me. But I will say this, that bike is not going to remain unused. I am going to get back on it. I am going to continue riding around. And I actually want to get started maybe in the next few weeks here, when it actually starts to change temperature a little bit more and all that. And I want to get back on my bike.
So what other kind of goals, since you don't like resolutions, whatever you want to call them, what is your plan for 2023?
So it's not necessarily for 2023, but it's to August. I still need to go and visit one more state so I can have 40 states in my 40th year of existence. And
so then, you need to go to your 40th state because you turned 40. And then, like, when you turn 41, then you'll have to hit your 41st state. He wants to hit all 50 by the time he turns 50.
I gotta hit 10 more states in the next 10 years, basically. Yeah. So, yeah, before August, I would like to get one more state done and check that off my list.
And then you also have, obviously, like, some things around eating healthier and kind of weight loss related stuff.
Yes.
But we'll talk about that in a second.
Yes.
So, for my resolutions, I feel like I've been thinking about it a lot. And I'm trying to figure out, should I have them? Is it, pointless? Why do I put so much emphasis on the end of the year and starting the new year out and all that? And what I've come to realize is I actually set up expectations for myself that once that clock hits midnight, all of a sudden I have to become a perfect person every year at the beginning of the year. I have to start eating right 100% of the time. I have to start, I don't usually put too much emphasis on exercise, but I should try to move around more, get out the Fitbit and try to hit 10,000 steps a day or something like that. I should start reading books. Maybe I should journal. Maybe I should do, all the things that we think are things that could improve our lives and all that all at once, all of a sudden, once it becomes January 1st, I should be this perfect person. I have this habit tracking calendar, and I was thinking, I should write out like 10 habits and make sure I do them every single day and check them off and all that. And it has to start January 1st because, by golly, if I don't do it January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, there's no point. The year is ruined. That's kind of the pressure I put on myself every single year. And the thing is, here's the thing. My dog is barking and she knows. She knows. She knows the secret. She was telling me about it. Anyway. What I'm trying to say is, I have been given this gift. And I know it's weird to talk about cancer as a gift, because cancer certainly is not a gift. But what cancer has done to me is made me realize that life is so fragile in a way that I never thought about before. Before I thought, I'm going to live to be 80, 90, whatever. Now, I do not know. I'm 37. I don't know if I'm going to live to be 40. I don't know. I truly don't know. And here's the secret. None of us knows. And I've talked about this before on the channel. We don't know if tomorrow is not promised. And that, I know, like, all the hokey sayings throwing at you. But the thing is, it's not. And I've spent so much of my life putting pressure on myself to become a better person and be perfect and do everything, and a lot of that always revolves around going into a new year. The truth of it is, all we can really do is just try to be do our best. And if that's not perfect, or that doesn't match up with what you see on social media as being advertised to you as perfect, then it's okay. Because I think, for example, even in last year where I went through all of this, at the beginning of the year, I made, you guys know, I said it on the channel, I made a promise to myself that I would eat 100% plant-based vegan in the year. And I actually was able to achieve that in 2022. So I can look back on 2022 and say, you know what? I might not have eaten perfect all the time. I may not have stuck to 100% whole food plant-based, but I did eat 100% plant-based / vegan, vegan. I did not eat any animal products in the year. And the thing is, I've never gone through a year of my life. I'm 37. This is the first year of my life that I've achieved that. So I do feel like that was something that I was able to attain. I also feel like I got to a certain point in the year where it was, I got to a certain point where it was like, oh, I've checked the box every day. I must continue checking the box. But then somewhere it became just a habit. And it became something that I probably won't ever eat animal products again now, because it became, I ingrained that in me as a habit. Unless I'm like on my deathbed, then I may be like, just give me whatever. No. But I feel it's hard for me to kind of explain and everything that's going on in my brain related to this. And I've tried so many times to express it, but I hope that you guys, just have learned from my experience and what I'm going through to never take life for granted and to not beat yourself up if you're not perfect, because none of us are perfect.
Speaking of not being perfect, the next topic on our list is weight loss.
Oh.
So, as some of you can pretty easily tell over the last bit here, especially if you watch our videos going back, I've gained weight. And I can throw out a bunch of excuses as to why I gained weight, but the reality is that it was choices that I made. And, even with eating plant-based, even whole food plant-based, like when you start to throw in additional meals, or, we're driving along and I just stop and get something because, we're doing all these big road trips and stuff like that up to Mayo Clinic. Like even just doing that, like you can start to just gain weight week after week after week. It's not necessarily drastic weight gain, but it's still weight gain nonetheless. And so, yes, I have gained weight over the last several months. And yes, it did coincide with her getting diagnosed with cancer, because like I said, it completely knocked me off the rails. And I was, and still am, very focused on taking care of her, and taking care of her by doing whatever it is that she needs, and forsaking myself and doing just what is most efficient for me to just keep moving along. And I spent a lot of time, obviously, trying to do things that, and this kind of coincides with how we're feeling as well, but I'd spent a lot of time not letting Jessica know exactly how I'm feeling, because I didn't want to upset her with anything that I was going through personally, because I didn't need to pile on any of my emotions on top of her emotions. But I am always willing to take on her burden and her emotions, especially during this time, because I feel like I can support that and I can do that and all of that. And this is just a weird roundabout and philosophical sort of way to say, yes, I have gained weight, and yes, I am losing that weight this year. And it's purely because Jessica asked me to.
And when he says that I asked him to lose weight, that's not something where it's like, oh, hey, I need Brian to fit into a certain size or be a certain whatever. I love Brian just like, hey, exactly as he is. Yes. And he is the love of my life and always will be.
She loved me at 500 pounds. She'll love me at any weight.
But we had to have a really serious conversation because you know how you kind of notice something and you notice somebody going through something, and you don't want to say anything because you know that they're also suffering And so, you know, it's like, I know Brian's got a lot on him, literally. Sorry.
It's okay. I mean, it's true. I do have a lot on me.
I love you.
You do love me. That is very true.
I'm in a mood today.
Very much so.
I'm not on anything, I promise.
No.
Anyway, I'm just naturally like this. But what I'm trying to say
you were seeing me struggle and stuff.
I was seeing him struggle. And every day it was kind of like, do I say something? Do we have the talk? Because Brian and I obviously love to talk. That's no secret. And we have all these big conversations with each other. That's one thing that I love about our relationship, is that we can have these big conversations. And so every once in a while, it's time for one of those, you know, it might not be the best conversation. It might not be the conversation that you know, the easiest conversation. But they're usually pretty productive, and it just kind of boils up in me, and then I end up crying and having, you know, whatever.
It's true.
So I kind of went to Brian crying, and I was like, Brian, I need you to take care of yourself. I need you to be healthy. I need you to lose, like, you need to stop this pattern that is allowing you to gain weight, because I saw him, you know, putting on clothing and being really disappointed, you know, just, you can see the uncomfortableness of putting on clothing and realizing that they don't fit. You can see he's had a lot of back pain in the last few months.
Yeah.
And you can deduce why these things are happening. And so it breaks my heart. Literally, I can't even talk. It breaks my heart, but I had to have that moment with Brian where I was like, Brian, I need you to, you know, I need you to be on board with this healthy, and also I'm trying to do my best to eat the healthy plant-based lifestyle to possibly help with my cancer as well. Yeah. And so it's like, I need you on the same page with me, Brian. I need you to come join me here.
So we started out this year and everything, and we are like, once again, it was actually easy to sort of fall back into the old routine that we had before when we were losing weight. And we, you know, started planning out our meals. We started figuring out what we needed to actually do to eat healthy and stuff. And we're going to do more videos on that. And I know specifically I'm going to do more videos on that because once again, Jessica and I are kind of doing slightly different things as far as what we are eating, but you know, we're still working on all the details and stuff for that too. But needless to say, we are absolutely back into the swing of things, and we are doing great. And I'm really looking forward to what we can accomplish, what I can accomplish in this next year. And I know I just went through this entire thing about saying, you know, oh, this weight loss stuff for resolutions. But I mean, fact of the matter is that it's one of those things, you know, where every year I'm always trying to improve myself. I'm always trying to be better. And so I know this year specifically, I do want to lose the weight purely because my wife asked me to do it. And when she tells me that I need to take care of myself, then I'm going to take that seriously, because it made me realize that I hadn't been taking care of myself. I'd been taking care of her. And sometimes, as some of you guys know who have had to take care of people who have gone through something like this, you know, when you start to forsake yourself, you start to crash even more, and it makes it even more difficult. But she needs me to be around. She needs me to be healthy. So that's the goal that I have set for myself over this next year.
So from my perspective, when it comes to weight loss, obviously, like, weight loss hasn't been something that I'm super focused on at the moment. I'm just trying to honestly eat and get the most, like, healthy plant-based foods that I can flood my body with. But I have lost weight in the last year. I did start the year lower than I started the prior year, which is always good. And weight loss just isn't my goal right now.
It's just the byproduct.
It's just happening because eating a healthy, whole food, plant-based diet, the byproduct of it is that I'm going to lose weight. It's a little slower than when I'm in hyper weight loss focus mode. And I may get back to that eventually, but right now it's just kind of like stay alive and flood my body with all the healthy nutrients I can get.
Yes.
But let's answer the final question of this video, which is, how are we doing?
Personally, I mean, I'm doing okay. Today is Sunday. I went to church this morning and I was just telling people the updates and whatnot. And I was explaining to people that I'm doing okay. But even my pastor said, you look like you have more energy. You look like you're more vibrant. And I think I am. I think I am doing better now, even just because we've kind of been in survival mode. We've got to just keep moving forward. We just got to keep staying alive and all that. And I think that we are finally to a point where we're like, let's go on the attack. Like, let's actually get stuff done. Let's actively try to win.
Yeah.
And
I think we've been in this cycle of like, all right, I had chemo. Mm-hmm. Now we got to get through the next few weeks. Then I'm going to have chemo again. And it's just kind of it's been the cycle since August.
Yeah.
And so now having a break in that cycle where I have actually, my last chemo was 5 weeks ago in a few days. And I'm feeling better. You guys can probably tell I'm a lot more vibrant and like
she's got more color in her face.
I'm just more myself. And honestly, it's crazy because going through the chemo, I felt like it was impossible that Jessica would return. And now I'm seeing that it is possible for me to feel like I felt before. Obviously with some limitations. I'm used to being able to go, get everything done, organize, clean, do everything, just keep going like the Energizer Bunny. And now I realize that I have to like pick my project, do part of a project, and then rest, and then maybe come back to it. And I can't do everything all at once. But as far as just my brain feeling like it was kind of hijacked by the chemo, that's lifted a lot. And it's been good. Now, I will say the further that I get away from having chemo, if they come back and then they're like, we have to do chemo again, I'm going to be like, but I got out of this. I climbed the mountain. Like, I got out of the hole and climbed the mountain. And now you want to kick me back to, like, I feel like it's going to be worse if I have to do it again, which is very likely that I might have to. But I also feel like we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Also, we will be giving you guys an update on what's next with my treatment plan. We're hoping to actually have some good news coming our way in a few days. We kind of know what we think is going to happen, but we're being a little bit careful just because
apprehensive.
We don't want to jinx anything.
True.
With the whole, I'm having surgery, and then it's like, nope, just kidding, I'm not having surgery. So we should have an update for you guys in the next few days as to what's going to happen next. But we have a lot of hope, and that's what we're going into the new year with. We're starting out with a lot of goals, but also just realizing that we need to give ourselves, like, go easy on ourselves, and everything doesn't have to be done, January 1st.
Yeah.
We're a work in progress, and
Yep.
That's what we've always been. That's what we've always done with this channel, and we've always shared with you guys the ups and downs and all the in between. But we're fighting right now. We're, like he said, we're on the attack, and we're ready to take on this year.
Yep, absolutely. But subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and click the bell that is right next to it. You'll get notified whenever we post a new video. You can also find us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and you can follow along with what is more so going on in our lives than just what we update here on YouTube. But I think that's all I got.
That's definitely all I got.
We will see you next time on Crocks in the Kitchen. Bye. You are really peeved out.